The greatest exam you'll ever take in life doesn't happen in a classroom. It happens in the shadows when no one's watching, and the only grader is God Himself. Think about that for a second. Researchers say the human body can only survive 40 days without food. But here's the twist. Your soul has survived years of famine without validation, comfort, or answers. And yet you're still here, breathing, standing, unbroken. That's not just survival. That's passing a test most people don't even realize they're taking. See, the thing about spiritual tests is they never come with a study guide. You don't get a syllabus, no cheat sheet, no heads up like, hey, tomorrow your patience will be stretched until it snaps. Nope. Instead, life just throws you into the fire and waits to see if you'll turn into ash or into gold. Spoiler alert, you didn't burn, you gleamed. And the irony? Most people fail because they think the test is about avoiding pain. Meanwhile, you learned it was about enduring without losing your soul. That's why God is rewarding you, not because you played it safe, but because you stayed true when everything around you screamed compromise. Oh, and let's be honest. If there were multiple choice questions, you probably would have circled D, all of the above, just to get through it quicker. But this wasn't that kind of test. This was the kind that stripped you down to your essence and said, now show me who you really are. And you did. That's why today, the secrets are being exposed. What you went through wasn't random suffering. It was proof. And now the reward? It's coming in double, pressed down, shaken together, and yes, overflowing. Buckle up, because this isn't just about endurance. This is about revelation. Number 1. You were measured in isolation, not applause. You were measured in isolation, not applause. That's the part most people miss about a true spiritual test. God didn't place you in front of a cheering crowd to see how strong your faith was. He pulled you away from the noise, away from the validation, away from the people who once clapped for you, and He watched what you chose when there was nobody around to affirm you. That's where the test really happened. It's easy to look loyal when eyes are on you. It's easy to seem faithful when there's a reward attached or when your effort is visible to others. But isolation strips all of that away. The test was designed to see whether your character could stand without an audience, whether your devotion was genuine when nobody was there to say, well done. Passing meant you proved your faith wasn't performance. It was who you are at your core. What made your endurance powerful wasn't just that you survived loneliness, silence, and rejection. It's that you didn't let those conditions define your choices. In the dark, when doubt whispered louder than encouragement, you stayed anchored. You didn't switch sides just because you couldn't hear applause. You didn't abandon the truth just because you weren't being noticed. That is what heaven was measuring, the integrity of your unseen decisions. This is why your passing is so valuable. Applause is cheap. It can be bought, faked, or manipulated. But who you are in isolation cannot be staged. That's the raw, unfiltered evidence of your soul. And God didn't want evidence you could fake. He wanted proof that you could remain unshaken without recognition. That's also why your reward will be so loud. Because the silence you endured was never punishment. It was a weighing process. Heaven was calculating whether you could carry blessing without letting it corrupt you. By passing in the quiet, you earned the right to be trusted in the open. The applause that's coming now isn't from people. It's from heaven itself, and it carries weight no human crowd could ever match. You were tested without a stage, and you passed. That's why when God rewards you, it won't just be recognition, it will be undeniable vindication. Number 2, you proved you could carry pain without poisoning others. You proved you could carry pain without poisoning others. That alone sets you apart because pain has a way of twisting people. Most who suffer lash out, bleed on anyone near them, or make others pay for wounds they never caused. But you didn't. You bore the weight of your suffering without turning it into a weapon against innocent people. That's a rare kind of strength, and that's why heaven counted it as passing a test. The hardest part of enduring pain isn't surviving it, it's refusing to let it change you into the very thing you despise. When betrayal cuts deep, anger naturally rises. When injustice drags on, resentment seems justified. But you made the choice not to let those feelings dictate your actions. You showed you could sit with your hurt without passing it on like a contagion. That decision is what separates a wounded soul from a corrupted one. There were moments where it would have been easy to snap back, to transfer your frustration onto anyone who crossed your path. That's the trap most fall into. They mistake venting their pain as release, but in reality it spreads the same bitterness that broke them in the first place. You resisted that temptation. You proved that it's possible to bleed internally and still protect those around you from your storm. That kind of restraint doesn't come from willpower alone. It comes from a deeper awareness that your spirit is too valuable to be compromised. This is why God sees you as trustworthy, because carrying pain without poisoning others shows you can hold weight without abusing power. If you could endure heartbreak, betrayal, and injustice without turning cruel, then heaven knows you can carry blessings without becoming arrogant. Pain was your training ground, teaching you self-control, compassion, and emotional maturity. That's why the reward is so significant. You didn't just come out of the fire alive, you came out with clean hands and a pure heart. The test was never about whether you'd feel pain, it was about whether pain would rewrite your character. You proved that even when suffering pressed you, it couldn't reshape your essence. And because of that, God is ready to pour into your life blessings that won't just heal you but will overflow to others, because He knows you won't use them to poison, but to build, restore, and uplift.